Just because you feel fine doesn't mean that you're fine on the inside. Because I see literally life and death within seconds, it makes me appreciate life.
What would you say when somebody says to you, like, representation matters? How important is that?
If you ask anyone who knows nothing about medicine what a doctor looks like, the first thing they're going to think about is an older white male.
Yeah.
They're not going to think of a woman. Only 5% of doctors are black.
Yeah.
You don't have to be perfect on paper, you just have to be consistent and persistent. Politics, it could be education, it could be anything.
Oh.
You don't have to have a science major to be able to go to medical school. However, peace was actually even a better word than safety. I can come here and actually let my guard down and just be me. And then when you go back home, it's like intense, the stress. You literally feel it as soon as you land.
Dr. Eva, you've come a long way when it comes to your family history. Everyone's been a doctor. Your parents, your grandfather, your uncles, like the whole family. How was it like growing up in that environment?
How can I even answer that? I mean, that's all I've known. You know, mom and dad, doctors, both entrepreneurs. They both had their own practices. So I grew up in a household where I saw my mom being a boss and I saw my dad being a boss, and they had employees, payroll, you know, all that kind of stuff. And then all the other uncles and aunties, and my grandpa was a radiologist. So was my father. So was his brother. And so that's all I've known. So ever since I was a little girl, I knew I was going to be a doctor.
Really?
Yes.
And was it pushed on you, or because you were already in that environment, you just thrived and was like, no, this is what I want to do?
I think it was pretty easy with my parents with me because I already knew that's what I wanted to do. You know, when you're growing up, your parents are your heroes. And I wanted to be like my mom and my dad. So I don't think they had to tell me or convince me to do anything. But yeah, in Haiti, you're either going to be a doctor, an engineer, a nurse, you know, a lawyer. But with me, it was pretty easy.
Yeah. At what age did you realize that?
From what I could remember, I don't think there's anything else I ever wanted to do.
And then you're from Haiti. That's where Wycliffe is from. That everybody knows. There's a lot of things that happen in Haiti. How do you feel about what's happening there?
It's a lot. It's pretty heavy. I grew up there. I moved to the U.S. when I was 15. So it was a pretty steep transition. I didn't really know English and having to learn a new culture. Thankfully, I moved from Haiti to Miami. And Miami has a lot of Haitians. So I was able to meet a lot of Haitians that kind of helped the transition a little bit, but it was still pretty steep. I've been back to Haiti a few times. The last time was 2019.
Oh, okay.
And I still have a lot of family down there. My whole dad's side of the family is down there. So I wish that I could go back as much as I do Ghana.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, with the political situation, you know, right now, things are not the best.
And how has it been a physician and being a black woman in that field in the U.S.?
Yeah, so in Haiti, you know, the majority were black. So that wasn't really anything that I thought about until I moved to the U.S. And that's when you start noticing the difference between African Americans and the whites and, you know, and going through medical school and then going through residency, especially residency, a lot of it was brainwashing. I didn't realize that the stuff I was going through was not normal until years after. Looking back, thinking about, you know, hindsight is always 20/20. Thinking about the experiences and the stuff I had to endure, completely.
Can you share some of the experiences that you went through?
You know, as a black woman during my residency in Macon, Georgia, which is the South, you know, there wasn't a lot of people that looked like me, especially in my residency program. And so having to work twice as hard just to prove yourself was traumatic enough. And then the little microaggressions and things that they would say to you, and never really thought anything of it until afterwards. So
what would you say when somebody says to you, like, representation matters? How important is that?
Very, very, very super duper important. And this is why I do a lot of the things that I do, because a lot of black kids don't see themselves represented in anything. You see athletes, you see maybe movie stars,
musicians,
rappers, you know, and so little black kids are like, I want to be like, you know, Future or whoever, but they don't see lawyers or doctors on TV. So that's not something that ever crosses their mind as even a possibility, something that they could be. And I definitely want to change that, especially for black little girls.
Where you're working currently, how is it working there as a black woman?
I've made a lot of changes over the years.
Wow.
You know, with being married and having kids and having a career in medicine and having to learn how to juggle being myself,
Yep.
being a mom, being a professional woman. And in medicine, they teach you to always put yourself last. You know, and we already do that as Black women, but
Yep.
it's like hammered in your head in medicine. So it was really, really tough when I was working this full-time job that I was working. And eventually I let go of that. And now I do locums. So it's pretty much I work for myself.
Okay.
And I just pick and choose my schedule. And I go to different hospitals that may need me.
Okay.
And so I've only started doing that about 10 months ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's been so liberating. I feel so free just to be able to have my power back.
Wow.
You know, it makes a huge difference.
So what did you specialize in?
Internal medicine, but
Internal?
specifically hospital medicine.
Okay.
So I only see adults. So anyone that's 18 and over.
Okay, no children.
I don't see kids. Nope. You have to be 18. If you're 17 and a half, I'm still not going to be a doctor. But only hospital medicine. So I see the sick folks.
Oh, wow.
That need to be admitted from the emergency room upstairs.
Really?
Yeah. So it's the acuity is pretty high.
Really? What are some of the experiences that you can share of like things that you've had to deal with?
Because I see literally life and death within seconds.
Goodness.
It makes me appreciate life. So I'm really, really trying to enjoy my youth. And, you know, most people want to work and retire and then live life when they retire. That's the mentality. But that's not my mentality. I want to live now while I can, because I literally see life and death within seconds. Like, I've had a few experiences. Well, COVID was one of them.
Yeah.
That was the worst thing I ever had to go through.
Absolutely.
You can imagine having patients lined up in the hallways, no rooms, and there's nothing we can do. Like, I love my job and I love what I do because I know I can help others and I can help people feel better. And I just love it when they get discharged and they're like a whole different person.
Right.
But with COVID, I literally knew I was walking in a room and I was not going to be able to do anything. So that was the most helpless feeling ever.
Right.
I don't think I've gone through anything worse than COVID.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
And are you seeing any illnesses that you're just like, oh my God, this is prolific when it comes to Black people?
There are a lot of diseases that affect us more than others.
Okay.
I think as young people, we don't go to the doctor. We don't go check nothing until something happens.
Yeah.
And I always encourage people to just have a checkup at least once a year. Just go to the doctor even if you're feeling fine, just because. Because you may have high cholesterol and not know it.
Yeah.
You may have high blood pressure, which happens a lot, and not know it. You may have diabetes and not know it, because a lot of those run in families.
Yeah.
And just because you feel fine doesn't mean that you're fine on the inside, you know? And so blood pressure is one of those that I see all the time. It's a silent killer for a reason.
Right.
Walking around with a blood pressure of 190, 200, and you'll feel absolutely perfect until a blood vessel pops in your head and you have a stroke.
Right.
So I see those things on a daily basis.
My goodness.
Yeah.
So we need to try and bring our stress levels.
Yeah, stress
little bit
level
low.
down,
Yes.
eat better, sleep better, you know, and then definitely checkups and take your medicines.
Okay. At least once a year. And that's the thing I think us as Black people don't do very
At all.
well. So you've written something on Paging Doctors to inspire other young doctors who are coming up. Tell us a little bit about that.
So the book is called Paging Dr. You, a step-by-step guide to becoming a doctor. And it's just a simple guide written in very simple language that a 12 or 13-year-old can read. And it's because from my experience, my journey is very different. I always say that my journey is not the same as everyone else. Because I grew up in a family with tons of doctors, I saw myself becoming what they were without any issues.
Right.
Okay, I still had to go through the process, but it's not a possibility that was not in my mind until I moved to the US and realized that only 5% of doctors are Black.
Yeah.
And that's men and women combined. And then I started thinking to myself, why is that? It's not because we're not smart. I think it's because the system is definitely meant to fail us. It's not for us. So you can have a C in one class and your counselor is going to tell you, this is not for you. Reconsider, you know, and to tell a little child that when they don't have anybody else in their family that has ever gone through that could be very detrimental.
Absolutely.
You know, and I've had a C before and I'm still here. I haven't had the perfect grades and I'm still here.
Absolutely.
You don't have to be perfect on paper. You just have to be consistent, you know, and persistent pretty much.
Right.
So I wrote the book to let others know what they need to do to position themselves for success. And it's really simple things like don't do nothing crazy and stupid on social media because they can follow you. You know, when you go for interviews, they're going to be able to see all that stuff. So be careful.
Wow.
Or start working on your credit early because medical school is expensive and most of us don't have the money to pay for that. I had to take student loans even though my parents were doctors because it's very, very expensive. So start working on these little things that can position you for success. Things like the major that you pick. Does it have to be science? It could be politics. It could be education. It could be anything.
Oh.
You don't have to have a science major to be able to go to medical school. However, there are certain classes that are mandatory that you're going to have to take that maybe your education major may not have. You know, so it's little things that they don't teach you in
they're
high
little
school.
things, but they're big things.
Yes, and it's huge, and the book is so simple, so you can buy it for a middle schooler.
What pushed you to write that book?
Because everywhere I go and I turn around, there's nobody that looks like me.
Okay.
I'm in Atlanta, and that's a different story because, you know, in Atlanta, there's a lot of successful black people. So there's no reason for you to be in Atlanta and not have a black dermatologist, black nephrologist, black cardiologist, because we're in Atlanta. But I understand that most places are not like that. Little kids may have never seen a doctor that looks like them when they go to the doctor, right? So those things make a difference. And I want to be able to change that. So that's
where can we get the book?
It's available on Amazon. Yes.
And so when did it come out? And how long did it take you to write the book?
Probably about a year. And it came out right around COVID-ish. Like the summer of COVID. Because I started writing the book the year before that.
The year before. Well, well done for writing that.
Thank you.
I mean, even the little things that you're saying, like, that's a good point.
Yeah, because nobody thinks about those things. But those things are super important.
Very.
Especially the credit part.
Credit part, what you're putting out there on
on
social media, it might come and haunt you in the future. So, yeah. Good one. Make sure you go out there and buy the book. So many people know you as a doctor, but you're also a coach, you're an author, and you're a social media influencer. What made you go into all of these things? What inspired you to do that?
I started my social media journey just randomly. Like a lot of people write in journals. I wanted to just put things out there to just inspire myself because I can go back and read it. And then in doing that, I noticed the response from other people. And I was like, oh, okay, maybe I can inspire other people as well. And it grew from there.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so people started DMing you. Did they start asking you questions? What type of questions were they asking you?
All the time. I mean, travel, you know, mentorship for medical school, questions about how to apply to residency, balancing, you know, life and a career, like just all kinds of stuff. I'm just trying to be myself. And I think there's a misconception out there that once you are a doctor, just a professional woman in general, you're not going to be able to have a life. You're not going to be able to have a family. You're not going to be able to enjoy yourself, especially being in medicine. If you ask anyone who knows nothing about medicine what a doctor looks like, the first thing they're going to think about is an older white male. They're not going to think of a woman, right? Especially a woman that looks like me, who's able to live life, you know? And I want everyone to know that we're multifaceted. We're not just one thing. So I'm a doctor when I'm at work, but when I'm not at work, I'm Eva. I like to do other things. I like to travel. I like to hang out with my kids. So it's definitely possible to be able to have a little bit of everything. You just can't do it all, but you can have it all. You know?
Absolutely.
So I want to showcase that to show people that, it's possible. I'm living it. So
and how are you able to balance having a family, doing, you know, what you do?
I think balancing is like juggling a whole bunch of balls. Sometimes you're going to drop one. You just got to pick it up and do it again. And after having kids, you know how many times I switched jobs?
Really?
Every time my kids grow into a different stage of their lives, I'm adjusting to that as well. And if that means I got to quit this job to take something else, that's what I'm going to do. Just to be able to try to find that balance a little bit where I can still work because I love doing what I do, and I can still be a mom and be there for my kids, and I can still be a wife, and I can still have time for myself.
Absolutely.
So it definitely takes a juggling act. Like it's a whole bunch of balls I'm juggling up in the air.
How many children do you have?
3 kids.
3. How
17.
old are they? Oh, I have a 17-year-old.
Yeah, a 17-year-old daughter, and then a 14-year-old son, and a 12-year-old son.
Oh.
So yeah.
Similar to mine. Okay, that's nice. And I'm sure they're proud of Mummy.
I hope so.
Oh my
would
God,
hope so.
are they going to be physicians as well?
I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna push them to be the best that they can be. I would love for them to be doctors because my husband's a doctor too.
No, this is getting too much.
And we need to talk about that as
What?
well. But whatever they want to do, I think I'm gonna push them.
Wait, you married a doctor?
Yes, and he's from Ghana.
What?
Yes,
Hey.
emergency medicine physician.
Wow.
Yeah.
So he sees a lot.
Yeah, and he's gone through a lot of things in the ER. And
Oh my goodness.
at some point, when we first got married, with him being in the ER and me being in the hospital, you know, the hospital gives you your schedule. So you're gonna work Christmas sometimes. You're gonna work New Year's Eve. You're gonna work nights.
Yep.
So it was really hard for us to be able to plug our schedules because
Together.
and we have no family in Atlanta. It was just the two of us, and you know, daycare is closed on holidays and weekends. So at some point, something had to give. So he gave up the ER
Okay.
and opened up his own urgent care. So you can imagine having to go through that. And it took him 5 years to finally be able to leave the emergency room to go to the urgent care full time. And ever since he did that, things have been so much better with the schedule because he doesn't work holidays or weekends.
Can pick his schedule, right?
Yes, he picks his schedule. It's just much
Where did
better.
you meet him? In Ghana?
We met in Atlanta. I was doing my OBGYN rotation as a
Okay.
medical student.
Okay.
And the doctor that we were rotating with, it was like in an office and it was like 6 or 7 of us students. And he walked in the room to talk to that doctor because they were going to partner up to open an urgent care, which eventually he did by himself.
Okay.
But that was the plan.
Okay.
And that's how we met.
Wow.
And then we went on a date. And then we disconnected because after that, I graduated medical school, went on about my business, and then we reconnected again while I was in residency.
My goodness.
And the rest is history.
I love it. I love it. Oh, so is that why you've been coming to Ghana more often?
Yes. And I'm going to tell you why. I took my husband to Haiti before I even came to Ghana, right? And the first time he landed, the first thing he did, and I still remember till today, he called his mom and he was like, OMG.
Oh my.
This is Ghana.
My
This is the
goodness.
same thing. And I didn't know what he was talking about at the time because I had never been to
Been to
Ghana,
Ghana
right?
yet.
So he had a good time. We had a great time. We went back to Haiti again, you know, and then eventually my dad passed away in 2019, which was the last time I went to Haiti. And then I came to Ghana. And I was like, oh my God,
This is
Haiti. So I immediately felt a connection and fell in love.
Oh my
and then
goodness.
it was on ever since.
My
So we've been
goodness.
coming multiple times a year ever since.
So what made you invest in Ghana? You know, I know that you felt at home in Ghana, you're married to a Ghanaian, but, you know, to purchase a property or to invest in somewhere, you need to feel that is right.
Right.
And so tell us the process of buying your property at Cape May.
It was all about connection. You know, when you connect to people, you feel the warmth, you feel the love, you feel the culture, you feel like you're at home.
Yeah.
Then it's no brainer to buy a home because you feel like you're at home. So that was a very, very easy decision for us to do. And we've worked with Cape May before. That's how we ended up buying the condo at the Signatures.
Okay.
You know, so it was an easy process because we had them
Okay.
to help us with the process the first time.
Okay, so tell us about the first time, because people say buying property in Ghana is difficult. You're not sure which real estate to go to. What made you, first of all, go to Cape May, and how was the process?
We did our due diligence. There was a lot of research involved, asking questions, you know, figuring out which was what, talking to trusted people that had dealt with, you know, developers. We heard so many horrific stories that we did not want to be a part of, but we had heard so many good things about Cape May, and they have a track record. And so we took the leap and just went with it, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That means you've got more than one property.
Yeah.
Girl, you are investing.
We are investing.
Yes.
We are invested.
And where you've invested, is it all with Cape May?
All with Cape May.
Wow.
Yes.
That's a huge endorsement. for
Yeah,
them.
because the first time it was so easy with them that, and you can find other people that will tell you they'll get it for half the price or they'll get it for this, but you just can't trust that, right? Because the stories we've heard, you're sending money, you're doing it from abroad.
Right.
So you have the space there, you're not on the grounds.
Right.
So, and you're dealing with folks that you don't really know. So you have to be able to do something like this, especially when it involves a lot of money.
Yeah.
You don't want to send it and then not have anything to show for it.
Right.
Because that happens.
Absolutely. For those that don't know Cape May, they are the developers for Signature. Very iconic building, I would say. Is that what drew you to buy there?
The architecture was definitely one of a kind.
Yeah.
It was mostly the integrity, you know, the
Right.
trust process, the transparency that really drew me to them.
Yeah. And I think they've got everything there. You don't really need to go. There's a pharmacy there, there's a gym, there's a swimming pool.
And it's 24/7.
And there's a restaurant. There's
Yes.
you know, so it's
they
got
have a
every,
sky bar.
Yeah,
They
they've got-
have a little grocery store.
they've got everything that you need in one spot. I know a lot of people now are buying properties and renting them out because people are getting a lot of money when it comes to rentals. Is that something that you're doing or thinking of doing?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. We're doing that since we're not here 24/7. We have a stretch of months we're not here and we have the property. Why not make money off of it?
Okay.
So that's one of the pluses of being able to invest in Ghana because you can rent it out short term, long term. There's all sorts of possibilities.
And I know that Cape May, they can also manage the property for you, right? So you don't have to do it yourself.
Exactly. They're managing our property there.
okay.
And so we don't have to worry about the cleaners, you know,
Fantastic.
who's coming in and out, locking the doors, collecting the money.
Right.
They're doing all of that. That's amazing. And it helps because you can trust them to do that.
When you're a diaspora, when you're coming back, it's hard to navigate who the right people are to work with, who is going to look after your property, right? If you were to buy, I don't know, a single home and you want to rent it, you'd have to find a company that was going to do that. But Cape May does everything. It's a one-stop shop.
I agree, yeah.
Are you thinking of setting up a practice here, you and your husband? What's next?
We have so many things that we're talking about.
Okay.
I don't think any of those things have stuck yet.
Okay.
There's a lot of there's so many possibilities in Ghana.
Yeah.
There's just so many things that could be done. Ghana needs a lot of stuff.
Yeah. What opportunities
Oh
do you
my
see?
goodness. Definitely healthcare.
Yeah.
That's something I want to improve. And I've talked to him about that because that's one of the things that we lack here is good healthcare. And it's not because we don't have smart doctors. I think it's because we don't have the facilities and all the equipments that we need. So that's something that I'm definitely thinking about, hopefully being able to have an impact and improve. Because I see a few things that are lacking that's necessary. Important things like a cath lab. We need that.
Yeah.
Somebody's having a heart attack. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
You can't really do much. And you can't fly.
Because it's too late.
It's too late. And there's so many other things, you know, that I'm looking at. But I think we'll see once I'm on the ground full time.
Okay.
Hopefully we can come up with some. But there's a lot of things that could be done in Ghana.
And would you encourage other diasporans and other people to come to Ghana?
I think so, I would. Yeah. Because it's all about connection. It's all about identity. It's all about creating a legacy. And then just being able to have something tangible on the continent is just amazing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
When you came the last time, did you bring the children as well? Are you getting the children to also know about Africa and the continent and its people?
Yeah, I come about 3 or 4 times a year by myself.
Okay.
Sometimes with my husband, sometimes with my best friend who's from Ghana as well.
Okay.
But I bring the kids every year, once a year. So
Okay.
around Christmas, New Year, we come with the kids every single time. And we do a lot of things with them. I've done so many things with my kids that even people from Ghana have
I've
never
not done. Listen, Ghanaians don't do anything, you know.
Yes.
People in Kumasi stay in Kumasi. People in Accra stay in Accra.
Right. Because my
Go
best
anywhere.
friend's from Ghana, and a lot of the things I've done, she's like, I've never seen this place. I've never been there. And I'm like, are you serious?
Yes.
It's fun. You should do those things.
Yeah. You'll find that a lot, honestly.
Yes.
I'm sure whilst you've been here, you've seen that there's a lot of African Americans are in the country. What do you think are drawing them professionally to come here?
There's definitely a buzz about Ghana on social media. And you know, social media is everything. Everybody has social media. You cannot do anything without social media. And that's a way of connecting to people that you would have never met in real life. So I think the buzz about it is definitely increasing curiosity. And a lot of it is connection again, identity again, you know, creating a legacy, all of that. So once you're on the continent, everyone looks like you. You know, so it gives you a sense of security in a way, whereas in some other places, you know, it's the stuff you have to go through racism and all that is not pleasant. And there's so much going on right now in the US as well. So I think a lot of people are drawn to Ghana because Ghana is also very safe. and a lot of fun.
That's really important, that Ghana is very peaceful. A lot of the people that I've interviewed are like, Ghana is peaceful.
Yeah.
When I come, I can sleep well.
Right.
And I think people love that about Ghana. And obviously our food as well.
Dirty December is the best.
What makes you love Dirty December?
It's so many people coming from all over.
Yeah.
Americans, Europeans, even Ghanaians from outside that come home once a year. It's just the crowd, and everyone is so happy. Everyone wants to have a good time. You don't hear about nothing negative.
Yeah,
fights, shootings, or you know, robberies, murders. You don't hear about none of that. It's a lot of people, yet everybody commingles, everybody respects each other, everybody has a great time together. You know, it's just overall, I feel like you said peace was actually even a better word than safety. I can come here and actually let my guard down.
That's true.
And just be me. And then when you go back home, it's like intense, the stress. Like you literally feel it as soon as you land.
If you had to give an advice to a young woman who is going into medicine, and also wants to be an entrepreneur, what advice would you give to them?
I would say you definitely belong right where you are. Don't shrink yourself just to fit in rooms. You know, just your presence is a blessing wherever you walk into. So this thing about imposter syndrome, it's real, you know, but I just want Black women to know that we are enough.
I love that. Thank you, Dr. Eva.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for coming on the show. Thank you for inspiring us, and thank you for doing what you're doing. I'm going to grab that book, even though I think it's too late for me to be a doctor.
Well, you can give it to somebody.
I'll give it to the kids so that they can also start reading about that, and maybe they'll be inspired to be a physician.
Yeah, hopefully. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Well, I hope you've enjoyed the Diaspora Conversation. See you next time.